All right, good evening, guys. Kind of Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for Halloween. Note to self, call my brother for his birthday. So let's just jump right into it. We'll start with Alcoa. We've got the weekly, daily, and hourly framework here. Feeling that upward move of on the weekly. There's your support level at the base of the dragon. That's your signal to go. Capstone level at 58. Reasonable upside of 53. Resistance, it has to get through the belly of the dragon right there. And support right here. If that fails, level 1 and level 2, so 42 is in range. That's a $4 risk. Looking at about a 0.4. So that's anywhere from 5 to 10 to 1 on the downside. Upside, Bollinger Band mean at about 49. So that's 350 on a 50-cent risk. Make that a 50-cent risk. That's about 7 to 1. So plenty of movement in either direction. That's what we want to see. Critical state. Strong support here at the bottom of the RL10. If this holds right here, that's going to be just an amazingly good entry. First target. Then if it gets above this gap gets filled, and then it should get to here pretty quickly. RL 270 to the far side. The downside's easy to see. So that's a great frame in either direction. 50-cent risk, and should be very manageable. That was Chi Wang Chong. Nicely done, sir. All right, here is CLF. And again, our weekly, daily, hourly. One support level, 2 support level. So that makes this risk box to the upside, but then it's already had the 2 big moves and it's already pushing to the upside. So that's, if it gets above here, that's double good. So it had the big long move, rolled back, and is now trying to hold at the edge of the dragon. So if this holds right here, and we can get long here, then that's a great trade. Then a second entry here. So he's looking at 1 second entry, third entry there. That's aggressive, but I kind of like it. And Luke's been doing well on CLF intraday. So this one is really poised to be excellent in both directions. You can see how if that support doesn't hold, that gap gets closed and it's going to come all the way down to here. So he's getting 1 short, 2 short, and probably a third one short if it fails below here. Yeah, because then it really collapses. Nice work. All right, TQQ, weekly, daily, hourly, the reversal. Here's where it held support technically. And it's already cleared that. So this is a continuation pattern. Yeah, if that works, it's just going to just keep going. And we want to watch Microsoft, which became the most powerful, largest company in the world, I should say, not the most powerful. Kata twos. And you're buying a continuation. That's too easy. Yeah, I suppose you could be short in here, but man, I don't know if I want to be short the most successful tech company. We'll see. I love it to the upside though. Facebook. God, I can't stand these guys. Support at 320. Target. So 326. So that's plus 16. And looking at about a $10 risk. So that's almost 2-to-1. The failure is easier to see. I think I'd be a little tighter here. Yeah, so that's about $4 there. And really, if it takes this out, that won't be resistance. And really, it's filling that gap. So it has a real good chance to just slice right through that whole thing before it gets back to 342. But that looks good to me. And the short side trade here with the target of about 312. Yeah, and then on a weekly basis, that thing doesn't even hit support till it gets down around 280. So that could be a big move to the downside if that all fails. IBM, we've been watching this one, the like 13-to-1 on a swing, and the big earnings failure. No resistance there. Solid support 3 days in a row. Failure to fail further. It's got to get above this, which is, that's this. So if that goes, I'd say you could be looking at a second position around 129. I'd like to see it get past all of that, which is this. So 129 would be essentially if it breaks out above the Z3. So just play that as one position and then add your second position here. And then the failure is easy to see. But I mean, hard to see how it fails much more than this. It's already down here in this strong base. That should be a strong base of support. But if it falls below 120, Katie bar the door to the downside. So that looks like a value plan, TechLand. VXX. This is postured for one of those breakouts. You know, when you see these and you get those 1, 2, 3 day bumps. This is poised for one of those moves to 25. So there's 25. So yeah, if that breaks out above 22, you're looking at plus $3. And on a dollar risk, 3-to-1. That's easy insurance. And then if this fails, that means it's because the market's working. And then one of those other ones is going to do fine for you. Like the TQs would probably be great. SCO, triple inverse oil. So when it's sold off that much, it's because the price of oil has been crazy good. So this is one of those that maybe the price of oil has topped out and is going to give back a little bit, which makes this one an amazing mover. And the fact that it held and then held a higher, there's your Kata 2. Yeah. And that gives you your upward spike of about $1.50, $1.50 divided by about 20 cents of risk, 7 to 1. And then if this starts to fail, it's going to be because the whole complex of XLE, XOM, Devon Energy, all of those should work. If this doesn't work, then it's going to be because they are going up. So put a priority on those two. And we saw one of Ken's yesterday from the open position he's got in the clean energy, the equivalent of PBW, I think it's ICBN. Lithium batteries. Support. That was on the weekly basis, that was the signal at like 85. It's +6 since that Kata 2. Really, and from this Kata 2 on the weekly from 63. I mean, weekly Kata 2s, you can do a lot worse than that. Even on the daily chart, there's your Kata 2. Pay attention to that dragon. It is your friend. When that price goes under and then crosses the dragon, that's good to go. And then when the peak breaks to the upside, you get a second entry there around 87. So this is really 5-day continuation, and you're betting on some more, and it's at an all-time high. Why wouldn't you? And so if you're getting long at 92, and that's about at 90, you're at $2 risk. Sure. Easy. And then if that fails, I think I'd be getting short in here at the PSAR rather than down here. I think I would get the PSAR and then play for 88. That's like shovels to gold miners. I mean, they got to have it for batteries. Weekly Kata 2. I'm just going to draw these until you guys get sick and tired of them. Now, this one isn't a Kata 2 until it hits about 48. But really, if you took like a 1, 2, 3 entry, you'd be here at 45. And there's the Kata 2 at 43 with a $1 risk. And just use the PSAR as the stop. When that thing works, I mean, look how nicely those PSAR settings protect you all the way to here. That's a 25% gain from an entry at this level to an exit here. That's 25%. Man. I think my stop would be here, really, because the argument is if this is going to work, then that should hold. You know, when this holds and you're getting that entry, or maybe like if you're getting this entry above the RL10 and then just use the peak of the dragon, that should hold. So to me, you're already above the RL10. So if that continues, I think you could be here or here. I don't think you got to be all the way down to here. I'd rather like have this stuff, use this as the risk box and have twice the position size. I think that's going to work. It's in TX, the steel company. They've been on a tear. This last, 20 days has been great. And when steel works, oof. Last one, uranium. Or this is uranium. No, this is short-term REIT, NURE, sorry. Oh, I just wanted to see what that was. It's a diamond. All right. Strong support, strong support, strong support. Waiting to see the breakout seems reasonable. That's about a 40-cent risk. And it's already well above. That's just a no-brainer. Real estate just absorbing all of the inflation. All the money the Fed is printing going into capital gains in large caps. And then those are on a selling program once they've locked in gains and then converting that to owning real estate across the board. No brainer. What a racket. Okay, so the next one we're looking at is from Bob, ICLN, Clean Energy. Yeah, I could see that one. That looks good. Breakout in either direction. See what he's seeing on the weekly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good breakout. Next target, I would say, is the next consolidation area is way up in here at like 31. So that's got another $6 to go, which is another 25% gain in this box. So we're going to consider this as a potential. Yeah. And then Zebra, ZBRA. Zebra, yeah, sure. That looks interesting. With a return up into there. Yeah. So when we translate that weekly chart into the daily chart, it looks something like this. Well, that looks really good. And I could even see a tighter stop in here like that. and then just go ahead and buy it on any as soon as it breaks out. Buy it right there. With a nice strong stop right there at the low of the week. Let's see how that one goes. And that would be a stop and reverse. Okay. All right, that's everything we got for today. Pete asked me where would I put my stop on the ICLN? Just a second. Oh, I could live with the weekly low. If that thing's going to work, it's just going to keep going. So it shouldn't back off. Right. So I'd have that about at 25 even. That's like the Z2 line. And then if that fails, what you're looking for, if you got short there, you'd be looking for a return. Oh, I'd say right down here to the spine of the dragon. That would be your target down here. You know, you would think it would come down to about 24.10 or 24 even. Okay. All right, that's everything we got for today. We shall see you tomorrow.